Understanding reservation. Equality of, for a tool. Jaisa that we jante is, India, a such country is where many all religions and castes of people live are. But, this diverse social fabric, history and happened injustice, and Asaman town from damaged became went is. Reservation, a such system, is which affirmative action called is, which these Gary a Saman town to away remove of, for brought went, was. Its purpose is that historically marginalized communities, these which scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes included, is, they opportunities giving everyone to a Saman Mocha given go can. Centuries from, this community's systematic discrimination and exclusion of victim been is. They education, employment, and basic human rights from even wanchit kept went. Reservation. These historical disadvantage to recognizes is, and it correct that koshish does is. This anyone to favoritism give of for not is. This a such society create of for is, where anyone to success of full mocha get. Reservation of behind of principle simple is. Disadvantage communities to empower, do by reserving a certain percentage of seats. These educational institutions, government jobs, and legislatures. This reservation policy, Indian Constitution enshrined is, which social justice of for country, that commitment to dashata hai. This understand many important is, that reservation any poverty alleviation program not is. This historical oppression of structures to dismantle remove of a tool is. How reservation works. Distribution of opportunities. India in reservation system, a well-defined framework of through work, does is. Constitution. This mandate does is, that government jobs and educational institutions in 15% seats scheduled castes of 4, 7.5% scheduled tribes of 4, and 27% other backward classes of 4 reserved will be. This percentages these communities that population per based is which censors of Hisabse decided are is. This ensure does is that different sectors in these communities of representation overall population in their proportion to reflect does is. Reservation to implement remove of for government services and educational institutions in such positions identify do has to is which reserved will be. This process in many all sectors come is from entry-level positions to higher ranking roles. Goal. This is that every level per representation ensure became which diversity and inclusivity to Bahava Mili. This dhyan rakhna important is that reservation qualification of level to reduce not does is. Reserved categories of candidates to even required eligibility criteria to pura do has to is. System only. This ensure does is that these positions of for compete remove of a fair chance get. This approach a more level playing field create in help does is which marginalized communities of people historical disadvantages to overcome do can, and their best give can. The potential impact of abolishing reservation. Reservation of about in happening. Going debate in often many strong opinions, samniatiyar. Some people argue, do are, that now its need not is, and this reverse discrimination create does is. However, inequality of root causes to address do without reservation to abolish do, India of social fabric of for harmful will be. This existing inequalities to and increase can is and social justice of for last. Some decades in happened progress to end do can is. Without reservation of education and employment opportunities to ponch privileged communities of favor in and more skewed became will be. This socio-economic gap and more increase can is, which already disadvantaged groups and marginalized became will be. Positions of power and influence in marginalized communities, of representation of no being, policies and programs of development, to even hinder do can, is which their specific needs and concerns to address, do is. Furthermore, reservation to abolish remove from social unrest and instability come can is. This marginalized communities in injustice and alienation that feeling to increase can is, which potentially protests and conflict became, can are. Reservation to maintain keep, with itself with, for this implementation to constantly review and refine do, a equitable and just society, of for continued progress, ensure, remove of for many necessary is. Reservation, these action. Examples across India. Reservation of impact. Indian society of different spheres in seen go can is. Lok Sabha, which Indian Parliament of lower house is. In scheduled castes of for 84 seats, and scheduled tribes of for 47 seats reserved are. This ensure does, is that these communities that voices and concerns, country of highest legislative body, in represent that go. Similarly, state assemblies in even SCs and STs of for reserved seats are, which respective state in their population of proportion of Hisab are. Reservation government jobs in even is, which various departments and ministries in representation ensure has to is. Administrative services from to technical roles to reservation policy of aim as such inclusive and representative workforce create do, is which Indian population that diversity to reflect do. This representation ensure remove of for crucial is that policies and programs to design and implement done go with a sensitivity towards the needs of all communities. Educational institutions, primary schools from to universities to, even reservation policies to implement do are. This ensure does is that marginalized communities of students to quality education get, which they poverty and discrimination of cycle to break can. Diverse backgrounds of students that presents learning environment to even enrich does is, which different communities of between greater understanding and empathy foster happens is. The importance of understanding reservation. A more just and equitable India creator for reservation of Baramit truth to understand many important is. This anyone to special treatment give of for not is. This a level playing field create of for is. This historical injustices to recognize and they correct of for is. This ensure remove of for is, that every citizen, whether his, her background anything even became, him, her successful happening of equal opportunity get. Reservation of about in happening going conversations to simplistic narratives from ahead, move should, and social justice that complexities to understand should. For this, for empathy, understanding, and diverse perspectives of, with engage, remove that desire, be should. This only numbers and percentages of about in, not is. This human lives, aspirations, and a more just and equitable society create of for is. As responsible citizens, we ourselves too and others too, reservation of historical context, rationale, and impact of about in educate do should. We our biases and prejudices to challenge do should. We as such society create that attempt do should where reservation that need no became, a such society where every anyone of near thrive remove of equal opportunity became. Conclusion. Towards a more equitable society. Reservation, although itself a perfect solution no became. But India in a more equitable society create that towards a significant step is. This social justice of for a tool is marginalized communities to empower remove of a mechanism is, and inclusivity of for India, that commitment of a testament is. This as such ongoing process is for which for constant evaluation, debate, and refinement that need is. reservation of about in truth to understanding, meaningful dialogue in engage doing, and with together work doing, we as such future create can are where every individual of near their full potential achieve remove of opportunity became, which a more just, equitable, and prosperous India will become, where everyone for place will be.